In the Lord we trust. Serve him is a must. He's the Alpha, the first. This is DJ Nicholas on the show. When you hear the trumpet or the flute, know it's a battle. Time to put your vehicle in a drive, ready to travel. Like Mary, you are going to use your foot, kick off shackle. When the war so easy, and me body. And when the God man them there, the matter man the look and the God them there.
Where the God man them there? Well, holy for God man in the place. Greetings, man and man, from Moran Point to Nick Grill. Can you imagine September 17, 2025, and some showers of blessings if you're in some places in Kingston, Jamaica. But wherever you are, greetings and welcome to the mailbox. Great to have you with us again. And we know we have choices, but here you are being with us. So we're looking at the topic, the literate man, and this is part 2. Last week, we had a very stimulating conversation and back again, because so many things to unpack and to explore when we talk about our boys to men and thinking about education. So we're going to have a great time. A literate man is someone who is able to read and write, and often, more broadly, someone who is educated, knowledgeable, or cultured in one or more subjects. This fundamental ability distinguishes a literate individual from an illiterate one, someone who lacks the basic skill of reading and writing. The literate man encompasses not only functional literacy, but also intellectual and cultural education, depending on the context in which the term is used. The importance of literacy. Literacy gives us empowerment. We're empowered. Literacy empowers individuals to make informed decisions and participate fully in society. Education and personal growth. Literacy is essential for education, personal growth, and lifelong learning. Also, social and economic opportunities. Literacy opens up social and economic opportunities, enabling individuals to improve their socio-economic status. Many benefits from being literate. This is the program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men, and it's aired every Wednesday unless it's a holiday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101, the family station, your favorite gospel station. It is the mailbox, by the way. I am Kevin Bailey, and right here with me we have
Roland. My name is Roland Gale, and to all our listeners, thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for making Love 101 FM your station of choice. And this gentleman, Kevin Bailey, your host of choice. It is so good to have you all here. This evening, we are talking about part 2, the literate man. And we know that literacy is important as it opens up social and economic opportunities. It enables individuals to improve their socioeconomic status. It also empowers us to make informed decisions and participate fully in society. And today we're going to be having a conversation with our guests, Mr. Robert Dixon, Operation Restoration Christian School in Trenchtown. You'll remember him from last week. And we also have with us Dr. Victor Chayana. He's a licensed counseling psychologist, and they're going to share about the ways we can enhance the knowledge, social opportunities, and communication skills of our boys, young men.
Big thing, Roland. And so we want to encourage the men from everywhere, the fathers, the uncles, the brothers, the cousins, and the husbands, wherever you are. And ladies, please just ask them to join. So let me just welcome officially again, Robert. Good to have you back with us on the mailbox. And Dr. Victor Chiano, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. How are we doing, gentlemen?
We're doing well. The man them there, you know. Good to see Kevin Roland. Well. Thank you.
Absolutely. And man, we want to hear from you. We are live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. And remember, you can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 997-3125, or you can call our studio lines at 968-8327 and 968-8328. And we're also on TikTok, and that's at Love 101 FM Jamaica.
That's right. Ladies, you know we can't do without you, right? So this is how you can participate. We want you to answer this question. Would you stay in an intimate relationship with someone who is considered to be illiterate? That's the question, ladies. We want you to answer this question. Would you stay in an intimate relationship with someone who is considered to be illiterate? You can participate in the program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube. Ladies, remember, no calls or voice notes. Allow the man to make the call, like give the voice notes. But you can interact with us on WhatsApp and Facebook and YouTube. All right? Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Gentlemen, and Robert would remember this. Dr. Chiana. Is it Chiana, right?
Yes, Chiana. Thank you.
Yeah. Great. So we have a little ritual where we count to 3 and then we simply say Mandaya, right? Which we want the world to know men are present. We are very present. So at the count of 3, I'm gonna ask all of us to say it together. Mandaya. 1, 2, 3.
Mandaya.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And before we head into the main discussion, we have something that we call like the draft. And it's the segment where we open the way into our main discussion, but we ask a simple question. And the simple question this evening is this. And gentlemen, I'm gonna start with Dr. Chian. I'm gonna ask you, do you think Jamaica has enough resources to improve the literacy level of our children? Yes or no?
Thank you for that question. And I want to respond to that question by saying yes and no. Yes.
Excellent. Go ahead and explain, sir.
Yes, in the context, as we look at what the Ministry of Education is doing. That's why I would say yes. They are trying their best, doing their best to ensure that literacy, become part of the curriculum for this education system. On the other hand, because of limited resources, and this resources is associated to human resources, hence the no.
Wow. Thank you.
So what you're saying then, sir, is that human resources are lacking. Is that what you're saying? They're not
absolutely
enough.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right. Robert, I would ask you to attack that question the same way.
Yes, good question. I was at a function this weekend with Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, the Honorable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, and she outlined what the Ministry of Education is doing, building STEM labs, what they're doing in terms of literacy, the focus on literacy, moving schools that are being critical and getting them to perform. The Ministry of Education is trying their best. They're doing a lot. But as Dr. China said, the problem starts at the home. And the Ministry of Education cannot get into each and everyone's home, and therefore it becomes a human resource problem. We need people, on the ground in communities, in the inner cities, in the rural areas, helping to build families, helping to educate parents, helping to, bring structure. There's a lot going on, but there's the problem is great.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Yes, thanks, Robert. Thanks, Dr. Chiano. Just before we take our first break, gentlemen, where should we get the resources from? If it's a lack of human resource, because in my mind, I thought it was all financial resources and big thing. So from your perspective, where do we get human resources from? Where do we look? Because we know we're having brain drain and all that kind of thing.
Well,
So
yes.
how do we solve that?
Well, I will say too, there is a financial aspect to it, right? There is a financial. Like if we had two teachers in every class, if we could afford to have two teachers in every class or less students in classes, that would help a lot. But as I said, the ministry is doing a lot overall for education. For me to answer that question, it has to be the church. We need people to take up the Great Commission, to go into the schools and to go into the nation that is the schools, that are our schools, as Christ told us, and to sacrificially to make that sacrifice, even if it means not fulfilling all your goals here on earth, but to see the bigger picture that we need to, we need to save human beings, we need to save people. So I see the church as that agent, the agent of change. That's what we are.
Dr. Chiano, where are we going to find, thanks, Robert, where are we going to find the resources from?
Okay, thank you again for that question. Again, our reality. What is our reality here? Is that even those that are being trained, just because of the limited resources, again, and financial resources, they are living to other countries, and that's one aspect that is impacting uh, the general stability that would have equally enhanced literacy in across the board. So outside of that, I'm thinking this is my simple thought, a kind of proposal. It's going to take a community-based collaborative effort in order for the human resources, to be so visible as well as variable in order to combat with this. I don't want to use the word pandemic, but it appears to be what we are seeing based on our reality. So, community-based collaboration with the Ministry of Education, as mentioned by Mr. Robert, that the church also need to come on board, teaming up with what the Ministry of Education is doing, and from that orientation. Then, in addition to that, yes, even though we want the church to come on board, there is still need uh, for incentive, even if it is $1. It's a one. But sometimes we look at money, and with the value or the way we look at money or value money, just oppose the input and impact that persons make towards meeting the needs of our national children is something I think we need to also revisit in order to mitigate the challenging problem that we are facing, especially as it relates to our boys.
Gentlemen, this is really interesting. I know we're going to have to go for a break shortly, but one of the things that struck me is the amount of money that we spend at each level of the education system. And one of the things I noticed is that the primary, the initial stage appears to get a lot less funding than the secondary or the tertiary. And in terms of actual numbers, as looking where it says here in Jamaica, the spend on the secondary level period is about 38%, whereas it's only about 27 or 20 for the primary. Is that a factor that we need to think about?
All right. I'm thinking
Yes.
let us take the break. Let us go for the break. And then when we come back, gentlemen, feel free to answer. So this is the mailbox. Roland, Kevin in the place of very special guest, Dr. Chian and Robert Dixon. We go to the studio, then we'll be right back after this.
Yes.
The time by Grace Could Move is
5:45.
word. Let it be known, HPV for the MVP, we're not alone. Together we'll fight, keep cancer away. Get vaccinated and keep it that way. HPV vaccine are what we need. Oh yes, me say that me a pray. You have to prevent yourself cause this is what we need. HPV for the MVP. The vaccine is cancer prevention. A simple shot worth the attention. Stay protected, don't hesitate. Get vaccinated right away. HPV vaccine is cancer prevention. A simple shot worth the attention. Stay protected, don't hesitate. Get vaccinated, no, it's never too late.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
We've seen a lot of our customers make some good moves over the years. Whether it's sharing a hug with a friend you haven't seen in a long time or sharing a meal, Grace has been there. So let's keep making these moments together, because rest assured, every time you choose Grace, you know you're making a good move.
Always a good move when you're moving with Grace.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox, aired every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. on your favorite gospel station, Love 101 FM. So Roland and myself, Kevin, we're here today having the opportunity to have this conversation with Robert Dixon and Dr. Victor Chiano. Before the break, I think, Dr. Chiano, you were about to respond to Roland's question. Roland, can you just a reminder to our listeners and to our guests, the question you're posing? Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Sir Kevin. And what I was asking is there an issue with how much we spend on primary education versus secondary education or tertiary education? Because when I checked it out, the overall education budget, we spend about 38% of that on secondary education, but only 29% on primary education. Does that amount of investment in primary education, where we imagine we are now setting the foundation, the framework, the basis for continuing learning, are we spending enough of our budget on that, or should we be reallocating?
Well, the first, to start with, that is interesting figures. I know at the primary level, one thing that you have to take into consideration when you're looking at the percentages is the number of children that are in private schools, which at the primary level is much greater than at the high school level. Most people start their children out at a prep school, middle class, upper class, they start, and then they go into the public sector. So it may be that there are more children in secondary schools than are in the public private schools. So yes, just to bring that in. But yes, I do think that we need to look probably at the per child rate, figure, how much is spent per child, because we do need to put a lot into those early stages. I know at the early education level, we have done the commission there has done a lot to improve basic schools around the country, and I also know that at the high school level, do you see a lot more old boys association for high school, past alumni association, even in the States for high schools. And so that does, you even take that into consideration, that a lot of high schools have great income coming from their alumni associations. But to answer your questions, yes, I think that's a major factor, something that we need to look on. More money needs to be put into the primary schools. I know it is on the minister's agenda, especially the schools that have been failing, or have a majority of its students below the proficiency level. And we need to continue to ensure that we're spending more at the primary level, and that people are not only giving to their high schools, but also giving to the primary school that they went to.
Thanks, Robert. I appreciate that. Dr. Chiano, your perspective on the question.
Yes, I think I want to concur with Mr. Robert again that it seems to me, it appears to be that way, that more emphasis is given
Right. I think
Yes.
Dr. Chiano,
uh,
are you back with us? Think he is frozen for a little while. So we're gonna continue. Are you hearing me, Robert?
Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Hearing loud and clear.
Right. Are you back with us,
yes,
Dr.
I think
Chiano?
I got bumped off.
Yes. Right. Please continue.
Yes. Okay. Like I said, I concur with Mr. Robert because if you look at the dynamics of things going as things plays out itself, it seems to me that more attention is given to secondary school just to post the primary school as well as the basic schools. And this slogan for me, I think that is what will probably drive and refocus not just the Ministry of Education, but as many individuals, persons, communities, agencies that have the best interest of our children at heart. Catch them young. See, catch them young. So if that slogan is being, infused into the curricula itself, I am thinking that more attention, more resources would then be channeled towards ensuring that from the basic school to the primary level that funds are being pushed towards that session.
Wow. Thank
Yes,
you. Catch them young. I just
catch
want our
it, yeah, man.
listeners to know Roland might be having a little bumpy time with the internet connection, but we're gonna see how it works through. Gentlemen, get it a little personal. And I know Robert shared a little, and so this time I want to start with Dr. Chiana. How did you end up being educated? Were you born with gold spoon in your mouth? What was it like for you? Give us a little inside peek on your early beginning, and why is it that you're now Dr. Victor Chiada, and then the same thing to Robert doing the important work he's doing there in Trenchtown?
Thank you so very much for that question. You see, I'm laughing and I have to
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm thinking, I want to say it, I really want to thank God for my parents who understood the importance of education, who invested every single thing that they earn in order for them to see that I am educated. I go through the four walls of education. And I'm gonna say this that it was not that an easy work. The challenges were there, but with consistent support from my parents, in spite of the different storms and hurdles that I interfaced while going through undertaking that journey, that for me was what changed the narrative for me. In fact, my daddy, well, this is what he showed, he inculcated in every of us. This is his word that he is willing and ready to go to bed without eating, in as much as we are being educated. So that primary support from my parents was what set this stage and set the pace for me. And with that same mindset, I, by the help of God as well, I don't want to put aside God. God topped the list for me. So with that, I was able to go through. And today I can attest to the investment that my parents made towards ensuring that every one of us went through the educational platform. I don't
Thank you.
know what it would have looked like if my parent did not
Yeah.
understand the importance of education.
Thank you so much. I mean, underscoring the significance and the importance of parents being committed to their children. And that's what, allowed you to be where you are. Robert, tell us a little, a bit, why is it that you are literate and that you are able to be there doing this great work in Trenchtown and making sure that the students are learning? Talk to us a little bit about your early experience as well.
Yes, all right. I went to St. Andrew Prep School, right? And then, so I got a good start to my education there, right? They're able to cater to your needs wherever you're deficient, and that was the case. They were able to cater to ensure that I was not left behind. Whether it's putting me in a smaller class, I was in a smaller class in grade 4 and 5, and just giving me the scaffolded me enough to ensure that I was not left behind. In high school, and I want to speak to a lot of parents who, your son is probably not settled as you would like, or I think that as Dr. Chana was saying, if you know that you gave them a good start in terms of the primary early childhood education, I want to know that I want to let you know that they will mature, they will settle down, you know, and you just need to continue to be on them, continue to try to monitor them and encourage them. I know many parents get frustrated with their boys, but and as did my parents. But when it was time to settle down and flick the switch, I that switch, I flicked it, and in right in the nick of time. Right, and was able to pass all my CXCs and go to A levels and go to university. Um, but yes, I was really distracted by Michael Jordan in the 90s.
Yes.
I preferred to stay up and watch him rather than do my schoolwork, right?
Mm.
And but so that's my encouragement. Stick with your boys, nag them. They, show the pray for them. They will come good. And so if your son is struggling, and yeah, I had two older sisters, and they didn't need anybody to sit down and do any school. They didn't need any monitoring. They just did their schoolwork. And then I came along, and I needed, I needed help. I needed somebody to ensure that I was not just daydreaming. I never had no phone. um, they never needed it, and I needed that help, that attention. And so give your son the attention that he needs. Don't take a cue from your daughter. Give your son the attention he needs. Be on their case, pray for them. If you know that you had put in them, they have a strong start to their education, they will come good. That was my testimony, and I know it's a testimony of many other persons.
Thank you, Robert Dixon here and Dr. Victor Chiano. I think, Roland, we're just about on our next break. So, man oh man, thank you so much. We take a break. Roland, Kevin here with our very special guest, Robert Dixon, Dr. Victor Chiano. We'll be back in a moment.
Yes. Strong man.
This Thursday, September 18, on the truly marvelous program To Have and to Hold with Dr. Colleen Beckles and a co-host, Andre Allen Casey, we're tackling a powerful and sensitive topic, restoring trust in marriage. What can the victim do? Trust is the foundation of every strong relationship, but when it's broken, the pain runs deep. How can the one who has been hurt find healing? What steps can they take to rebuild hope, confidence, and peace in the marriage? Join us as we discuss strategies to move from brokenness to restoration and learn how trust can truly be rebuilt. Don't miss it this Thursday, September 18th. 18 at 5:30 p.m. on the truly marvelous program To Have and to Hold.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6 o'clock.
Remix the summer with Digicel. 100 lucky winners win $100,000 each, plus surprises all summer. To enter, buy a SIM 7-day plan or higher. Switch to Digicel. Be an active postpaid or Digicel Plus customer, or receive US $15 or more from abroad. Gift a friend a plan. They could win $25,000. Remix the summer with Digicel. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promo ends September 15, 2025. Conditions apply. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for more info. Digicel, better connected this summer.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
I am a man.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back to the mailbox on Love 101 FM. It is a joy to have you here with us this evening. My name is Roland Gale, and I am with Kevin Bailey. And we have with us two very special guests. We have Robert Dixon and we have Dr. Victor Chiana. And we have been discussing some very important things about literacy in young people and across the board, but young men in general. Sorry, young men specifically. And we have said some very interesting things. At the beginning of the show, Sir Kevin, when we started, we had identified that there were some resource issues. And when we talked with both gentlemen, I think we got the impression that when they were younger, they kind of didn't pay too much attention to the issue of literacy, but it was as they got older that they realized this thing is important. And so the question I'd want to ask as we get into this segment is, what steps can we take to encourage more people? We had said earlier that people was a resource issue. How can we encourage more people to help fight to improve literacy levels, starting at home maybe, or in our communities, especially with the young men? Who want to take that? I see Robert smiling.
I see Dr. Chano can take that. We can start off. Yep, but he's muted.
You're muted, Dr. Chano.
Thank you so much, sir. And I think let me start by way of, commending Sir Dixon, the work he is doing there at Trenchtown. I have to commend him. I remember that was in 2022, thereabout, when I came by the school and I walked through. No, that would have been 2019. Sorry,
COVID,
thank you, sir. Before COVID. And when I came there and I saw the extensiveness of what was being done, this level of sacrifice, I said, whoa. And in a community that is highly volatile, that to me, breaked me. I'm just sharing this in this platform, but it should know. It breaked me, and I said, "Whoa, this man is doing all of this with limited. Don't forget, with limited resources. What then are we waiting for? How can we, provide support, at least to encourage him to do more than what he's doing?" And I think I want to say that the only way we can encourage what Sir Dixon is doing right there in Trenchtown is for men and women who have been imparted by way of education, who understood the importance, who knows the importance and the benefits that is tied to literacy, even if it is $1. I'm going to try to speak patois here. I say they say that one little make a mocha, something like that. Just little, that little, even if it's $1,
Every
that
nickel make a mo-
little dollar, as we pull those resources together, lives will continually be transformed, especially within the inner city, using Operation Restoration Christian School as a point of reference.
Yes,
Yes, Robert. Thank you so much, Dr. Chana. Robert, your take.
Yes, and I thank Dr. Chana because he walked out these streets with me, you know, especially during COVID time. I would say that how do we make a difference? That's the question. How can we make a difference?
And get
Right?
more persons involved. Because the task is great. How do we encourage, how do we spur on nationally people to come on board so that we get more of our boys to men literate?
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know, the money is always a good incentive. Money is always a good incentive, you know. And as he said, every mickle make a muckle, every dollar makes, you know, I say, you know, if people give me $1,000, if I find 100 people, they give me $1,000, that goes a long way. And so that's what we do. We send out that message. And you know, there are a lot, I know that is not only me working in communities. And so partner with people financially, but nothing can be gained without sacrifice. And that's really it. Nothing can be gained if you're not willing to make a sacrifice for the boys in the community, in these communities. As I said last week, every year, nearly 6,000 boys leave primary school and they can't read well, right? And a lot of them go on to a life of crime, or on the corner, the street corner. Or right now they are, you know, finding ways scamming. So some sacrifice has to be made by people to make a difference. And I can say my testimony is that God is faithful. He is faithful to reward you when you make that sacrifice. So that's what I will say. You know, it's going to take some sacrifice. But I'll also say that, you know, to people who are listening in the diaspora, that, you know, you can give to organizations like mine. Who, you know, a lot of people tell me that they love giving to my organization because they see where it is going, you know. And I encourage other organizations in that work in the cities, other community-based organizations, to be transparent with your work, to let people in the diaspora and other, you know, people of goodwill know what you're doing. You know, try best to keep records and get personal with your donors so they can see and know that their funds are going to good use. And I will say people, you know, give. So the sacrifice can be of your funds, and it can definitely be of your time. I say also, you know, our children have no one that reads to them or that reads with them, right? And so we do reading here. We have reading time every day, and it's something that's starting in the primary schools. Can you go and sacrifice an hour a day to read with a child, to let a child read with you, right? And to read to them. Can you make that sacrifice, right? Even at my school, these children don't have anybody to read to when they go home. Nobody, they don't take up a book, right? Can you come down? You're welcome to come down and spend some time to read with them. Let them read to you. Help them to pronounce words. You know, help them to comprehend. Give up your time. It makes a difference in their lives. It makes a difference. So sacrifice is key.
Thank you, Robert. We have some feedback on Facebook, Roland. So I'm gonna read one, and probably you could read it, the next one. Here, by the way, how illiterate is illiterate? He doesn't need a degree. High school graduate, sure, but can't read or write is going to be a problem for me. Sorry, said Katig, I believe there. Yeah. And yeah,
Yes, and I
Roland.
believe she's being very honest. Wow. We have another comment, listeners and viewers. I'm gonna ask Judah to share that one for us.
You see there from Sister Ophelia in Kingston, said greetings.
Yes,
Monday.
I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Monday team. The proper question is, ladies, would you start a relationship with someone who is illiterate? And the answer to that, no. Gentlemen.
Final one before the gentlemen give their responses. This one would have a name. It says, no, I am a teacher, so I could help him. However, I have seen cases where a woman helps a man and then he starts taking her for granted and he eventually starts treating her badly. Gentlemen, you hear the comments. What is your take, Dr. Chiana? We'll start with you. Yeah. I think you're muted, Dr. Chiana.
Yes, you can hear me better now?
Yes, thank you.
I think those responses, they were honest. Mm-hmm. Yes, that was an honest response to the question based on their individual realities. And yes, it's true that things will happen and things will always happen. But again, for the betterment of
all right.
I think we've lost Dr. Chiano briefly, so maybe we have Robert, and then when he comes back, Robert, your take on these interesting responses.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I guess I would want to know if you start the relationship and you don't know he's illiterate, so he's cognitively he's fine, intellectually he's fine, and then you find out that by him struggling with the reading, and with the writing, you're going to really break off the relationship. I say give him a chance. I say give him a chance. There are a lot of men that can function well and can operate on your intellectual level, in terms of reasoning, but have struggled for different reasons, with literacy. So I would say give him a chance.
I love that answer. And I think Dr. Chiana is back with us. So, sir, we're going to ask you to continue what you were saying.
All right, thank you, because I got bumped off. I was saying, yes, it's true that those who responded based on their reality. However, I'm thinking, looking at it again from an empathetic perspective or standpoint, it will be much better for room to be, extended, because at the end of the day, it's going to be for not just for the betterment of that individual or the betterment of the immediate family, it will also be for the betterment of our society, by extension, our nation.
Well said, gentlemen. Appropriate that we take our final break. Roland, Kevin in the place, our very special guest, Robert Dixon, Dr. Victor Chiana. We'll go to the studio, then we'll be right back after this.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man, yes.
Remix the summer with Digicel. Start school with amazing deals and phones Plan and home fiber internet from Digicel. Conditions apply. Digicel, better connected for back to school. And the time by Digicel is now 6:15 p.m.
Nothing beats the Love 101 September Bonanza. That's 15% off any advertising package. That's more savings, more spots, and more reach for your business. But don't wait. This offer ends September 30. Call us now at 876-968-9596 or email sales&marketing@love101.org. Let's grow together. Conditions apply.
You can see the face, but not the heart. Those who want to do you wrong. So many times.
Bless up. This is Christopher Martin. Human trafficking is a crime. Let's unite to end human trafficking. Be wise, open your eyes. Spot them, stop them, and report them.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
No shadow at the dark. No shadow at the dark.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite station, the 101 FM. So Roland, Kevin in the place, and Robert Dixon and Dr. Victor Chiano, our very special guest. Gentlemen, 80% of our children are born out of wedlock. 51.3% of the households are headed by females, so it's majority. Do you think these stats affect literacy rates of our boys? What do we do if you think there needs to be a change as to men and put in the mix, because do you think it would be better if we had marriages, strong marriages, and our men are encouraged to be married, and from just your experience, expertise, is that affecting our boys and literacy? Dr. Chiano.
Thank you so very much for that question. Indeed, I will want to say yes, because a young boy needs the attention of his father. And the absence of a father has a way of imparting a young male, a young boy, who doesn't have what we call someone to model, someone to infuse some level of intellectual strength.
I think Dr. Chiano frozen. Yes.
But the presence of a male father, a father in the life of a son, will make a whole lot of difference. I'm not going to sit here to say that women are not trying or those single mothers are not doing their best. They are absolutely doing their best. But there need to be a blend. There need to be a leveraging. And that leveraging will be when the man take up his role as the man of the house, to understand that in instructing a child, imparting of knowledge to a child is the responsibility of the man.
Yes. I would say, I'll give an example. I have a youngster at my school who's been here for a while. He had some head trauma as a child, and is a little delayed in some of his functions, and then has had difficulty. And earlier, when we just came to the school, the father never want to believe that his child had any problems. Never want really. It was the mother that I was seeing, Then the father became a Christian. And I remember him calling me one day and said, sir, why God saved me, sir. And then he was saying that him understand, no, paying more attention to his son and understanding that his son need extra help and it's not a bad thing. And this man has, let me tell you, he shows up at PTA meetings. He ensures that in the summer his son is at a little shop learning how to sell and learn how to operate. He's behind his son doing homework. He is active in his life. And I can tell you, because we had the youngster, we sent him to another program for a year to help him. And then he came back to us and he improved a little tiny bit. But when this man got active in his son's life, it made a huge difference, right? And I'm saying he's flying. He's not flying, but he's moving and he's becoming functional and he's reading better and he's understanding more. And that's the power of the role model that is a father. And the problem is that most of our men, right, are on the roadside drinking and smoking. As them get paid, them buy some Red Bull and some rum. And them drinking and they're smoking. And they're not in the homes being an example to their children, protecting their girls and being an example to their boys. And that's if that could change, just like that father at my school, it would change Jamaica.
That's an amazing response. Sir Kevin, I love that question. Gentlemen, as you say stuff like that, I am wondering if there is any impact on this process of gaining literacy. If it is that the parent or the guardian is not literate, does that matter in the process for a child who is a youngster in a home where the parent can't read or write or is limited in their ability to do reading and writing? Does that affect the child?
If they make it affect the child, you can, yes, it does have an impact because you're limited in what you can do, but it is your attitude that will affect your child. It is how you respond to the child, how you talk to the child, and how you listen to that child and encourage that child and share your journey. Share your journey with that child. That will inspire the child to excel and to do better than they did. So you can use your story and say nothing about it. Be ashamed of your story and don't share it with anyone, your testimony. Or you can use it to impact your child's life, right? And I would say use your journey to impact people's life, right? So that's how we'll respond to that.
Wow. Dr. Chiana, do you want to say anything about that?
Just to add to what Sir Dixon said, thank God for technology. There's a technological shift, and it is to the benefit of this generation. And as mentioned by Sir Dixon, the approach is what matters. Your attitude towards the educational stability of your child is what matters. The interest that you put forth, that is what will motivate them. Even though you don't know how to read as a father or as a mother, at least show that interest, give that interest, motivate them. Again, through sharing of your stories with them. By so doing, they will be challenged.
Yes, that's right.
So that's just what I think it is. They will be challenged. And at the end of the day, who will benefit from that empathetic attitude displayed or demonstrated by that father who couldn't read or by that mother who couldn't read will be themselves. Because when the child begins to read and begins to do well, at the end of the day, the narrative of that family, the story of that family will change for good.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. We're almost on the stretch, almost out of time. But a question: many times, intimate relationships gone awry, gone bad, and people are no longer in the same dwelling or having the same relationship, and sometimes the children suffer. Want you to talk to men and women who may spite their former boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and the child suffers. What would you say to them in the interest of the child being literate? Talk to us, Robert, because know you have these experiences as well, and then Dr. Chiano. Yeah.
Yes, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Because so many people lack the skills the conflict resolution skills, they lack it. I would say that for the sake of your child, don't be easily offended. For the sake of your child, make the sacrifices that you can. For the sake of your child, bear with each other. I remember I had a friend that was he went away to work and was sending me money. He decided to send me the money to give to his baby mother because he could deal with her. And then I got into it, and then she started to. I said, Bridget, this is yours, You need to deal with it. And you need to make the sacrifice, and you need to do what you have to do to ensure that your child, don't get me involved, to make sure that your child thrive. And I encourage people to work together to make the sacrifice, to see. I don't think people see their children. Family is the vehicle that God wanted, it will use for upward social mobility. And we don't realize that, we don't realize that, that the importance of family in wealth building and in nation building. And so that your child is an investment. Your child is an investment. And so your child is worth the sacrifice.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Chiano. In 30 seconds or so.
I think I want to say that irrespective of the differences that exist or would exist within a system, the important thing is this: putting your differences aside for the good of the child, at the end of the day, will benefit everybody, not just the immediate family, not just the extended family, not just the society, not just the nation, but from a global standpoint. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you so very much. It has been an excellent program, and I think we have learned quite a lot. Sir Kevin, you have anything else you want to say to add to what these astute gentlemen have shared?
No, man, that was great. Nothing to add. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Totally appreciate it and the contribution.
It has been our joy to have you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. Listeners, you are listening to the thoughts and the comments of Mr. Robert Dixon and Dr. Victor Chiana, and both of them have shared so richly on this issue of literacy. I want to say thank you to our producer, Jermaine Johnson. I want to say thank you to Niku Angus. And of course, you, our listeners, because we know that without you, we would not have this show. And I want to say thanks as well to Sir Kevin Bailey. Thank you, sir, for having us with you this evening. Blessings to everyone.
So that's it for the show next week. catch you next Wednesday, September 24, 2025. Same place, same time inside the mailbox. As we say, Monday.
Monday. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
You're to the Family Radio broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. We're Love 101 FM, and our time is coming on to 6:30. So it's that time of day